Conversations with Goodman School of Business. I'm Susan LeBlanc, and my guest today is Dr. Lisa Barrow. Dr. Barrow is a professor right here at our Goodman School of Business, and the area you research in is workplace bullying, which is a very interesting topic. I think normally when we think about bullying, we think about the little kids on the playground, but you're talking about workplace bullying. What's that all about? What's the, how do you define that?
Yes. First of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And workplace bullying is different from school bullying in that it's much more sophisticated and it's a little more subtle. So, for example, on the playground, a child may come up to another child and bully him or her for lunch money, or threaten to punch them in the nose. Well, as adults, we can't do that because if we threaten to punch someone in the nose, we go to jail. However, with workplace bullying, there are some characteristics that we need to be aware of. If I am going to bully someone, for example, if I'm a bully, I may publicly humiliate that individual. I may sabotage that person's work. I may deny that person opportunities for promotions or to work on special projects. And it's important to understand that workplace bullying is repetitive behavior that seeks to devalue others. And so whenever we see situations in the workplace where someone is targeted on a regular basis, that would be considered workplace bullying.
So it sounds like sometimes it could be happening to you and you may not even really realize that it's happening to you, or you might not be seeing it as bullying.
And that is so true. Many of the individuals who contact me, they will contact me and say, well, I don't know what's happening to me, because what happens is their atmosphere changes and they may not necessarily know why, because the bully is not going to say, I am going to bully you. What the person will do is begin to publicly humiliate them in meetings, and the body language also will send a message as well, so nonverbal communication, such as if the person's in a meeting and the bully will roll his or her eyes or will have negative behaviors towards that individual. And initially the person may think, well, maybe that person's having a bad day. But if it's happening all of the time, like every time an individual encounters a person, then that would be considered workplace bullying.
So what can you do if you think you're being bullied at work? What's the recourse for someone?
Well, first of all, I think it's important for individuals to have an understanding of what workplace bullying is. And once they understand what the characteristics are, so if a person is being teased on a regular basis, being publicly humiliated, work is being sabotaged, and there's a list of other behaviors that they may experience, then I'm a firm believer that it's important for them to first talk to the person who is displaying such behavior. And if that behavior does not stop, then I suggest that the person talk to the human resources or talk to a manager. If it is the manager, then it's probably best to go to human resources and have them investigate the situation. And it's important to understand, and the reason why I'm involved in this research is because 37% of employees are being bullied at work, and they don't even realize it. 37%.
Wow. Yeah.
And when we look at bullying, women tend to bully other women 68% of the time.
Wow.
And the reason why is because women tend to be more interested in relationships, and so a bully will embrace behaviors that are aggressive and will cause the targeted person to experience negative interactions with not only the bully but also colleagues and coworkers.
It would take a great deal of courage, I would think, because you were saying that one of the first things to do is to actually approach the person who's bullying you. I would think that would take a great deal of courage, and even to go to the human resources department, because you don't know what can then come from that.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like being a whistleblower almost.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is one of the problems that we have when we talk about workplace bullying, because people are fearful of losing their jobs. They're fearful of retaliation if they do go to human resources. And so unfortunately, individuals who are targeted suffer alone, or maybe they have colleagues who are aware of the situation. However, the colleagues are afraid to stand up to the bully or to say something because they don't want to experience that same behavior. And it is unfortunate because if the bullying is not addressed, many individuals will begin to experience physical ailments. Individuals will begin to experience anxiety and depression. So the research that I had conducted revealed that 29% of individuals experience depression and anxiety. But there's one statistic that is of concern, and that is that 10% of individuals who are bullied consider suicide because they feel helpless. They feel as if there's nothing they can do to address the issue. They're afraid to go to human resources. They're afraid to tell their boss.
Right.
And so they feel as if they're suffering alone because they may not understand that there are steps that they can take to address the issue. So I encourage them, if they are afraid to talk to the bully, to go to human resources, and sometimes they even need outside assistance, so professional assistance. So maybe they could talk to a counselor who could help them through this ordeal.
Right. And I would imagine, I mean, other people may recognize that somebody is being bullied, and is there a role that if say you're at work and you're there's a colleague and you suspect they're being bullied, but you don't, is there something you as sort of just the observer?
Yes.
Is there something you can do?
Yes, as the bystander.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's important, it's always important, I must say, to let the targeted person know that you are there to support them, to assist them in whatever way. And sometimes it's about standing up to the bully and saying that type of behavior will not be accepted. So it's important to create an environment in which everyone feels safe coming to work, and that people are adopting what are called pro-social behaviors that uphold the value of others instead of creating a situation where people are feeling quite negative and are being harmed by the behavior the individuals choose.
Yeah. So it's sad, but it is a real issue that people in the workplace face, and so do you find that HR departments are quick? Is this something that they're, sometimes there's a lag in accepting of different things that are happening and how to deal with them. So are today's HR departments pretty much on the ball with this? Do they recognize it as something that's because, well, you mentioned the loss of productivity. I mean, it all goes to something that can, affect the business, the workplace in a larger way, not just for the individual person. So is there a real effort on the part of HR departments to deal with this problem?
Well, I must say that for the most part, human resource representatives are not doing all that they could do to help the targeted person. There are some human resource departments that are starting to acknowledge that bullying does exist, and so they are being proactive, so they're getting the training, they want to understand what workplace bullying is, how it impacts employees, and then what they can do to stop it. Unfortunately, a lot of the individuals I speak with say that they feel as if human resource managers may dismiss them, or they may say that it's a personality conflict, and this is what causes the individual to feel as if they are helpless. So human resource departments, some are doing a really great job at addressing the issues. Others need to get on board and start to pay attention to the issue.
I guess the key is if you feel you're being bullied, don't just sit and take it. Get help, confront the bully, go to your HR department. You're not alone.
Yes.
Get some help and try to resolve the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, if you're in a union, talk to your union reps
Sure.
as well.
Yeah.
If you're in a non-union environment, it may be a little trickier to do.
Sure.
But there is help available for individuals who are being targeted. And then finally, we need to make sure that we are adopting behaviors that are valuing others
Right.
and letting them know that
Right.
we respect them, and we are trying to create a respectful environment
Right.
for everyone. We may not necessarily like each other,
Sure,
but at
but-
least we must be
Yeah.
able to create an environment that says that we will respect you,
Yeah.
even though we may dislike each other.
And that's the key thing is there is help available.
Yes, there is.
Thank you so much for coming by and talking to us about this. It's a very important topic.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
it's something that probably any of us who have work in a office or any type of working environment could have to deal with or,
Yes.
or be aware of. So thank you so much for coming by.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching us on this segment of Conversations. Be sure to check out some of the other Brock University podcasts. We've got Consider This and the Brock News. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.